Okay,
Well,
so thank you for joining us today and wanting to learn a little bit more about how American Solutions can help your bank or credit union with expense management needs and how we can help you tackle some of those really challenging aspects of your business, especially as you've got remote workers working outside of your home office or your main branch. We know that there are special needs for that, and that you are looking for ways to make your world easier, looking for one source for all of your supplies needs, and so much more. So we're glad that you're here with us for our Thursday Think Tank. And with us today, we've got Stan Clarenbeek, who is the National Director of our Financial Solutions Division here at American. I am the Solutions Support Specialist, working alongside him, where we help our reps and division better serve banks and credit unions like yourself out there. Cindy Carlson is with us. She's with our Strategic Operations Department, and basically I call her the brains behind all that we talk about. She can speak into more of the details than I ever could, but she's the one who can guide us with the real functionality of the programs that we offer. So what we wanted to do today was share with you in particular our ways to help you attack your expenses and simplify your processes, all within the aspect of building your brand in your communities. So we're going to spend just a few quick minutes going over just who American is, what our products and services are overall, and then narrowing down into what we can do specifically for you with our ACES program and how that might all pan out through an implementation. So we're here from all over the country. I'm in Texas. Stan is from the Kansas City area. Cindy is in Minnesota. And so we are just representing the entire country, and that's what we can do for you too with wherever your branches may be. So Stan, I'll turn it over to you.
okay, thank you. It's amazing what we can do with technology. And Cindy, if you could back up to the previous slide. Our focus for this session is really the two legs that you see here, the attacking expenses and simplifying processes. Those two really apply to expense management. Now, marketing comes into that as well, but not so much the building of the brand. So we'll just do a quick overview of American for those of you that may not be familiar with who American is. The company has been around since 1981. The founder, who you see on the left, is Larry Zavagil. He's still the CEO of the company, very active in the company. So it's been a very stable leadership of the organization. We are an employee-owned company. We are an ESOP, so that everybody has a vested interest in the success of the organization. We have over 300 million in annual book sales, which in this industry, that's a pretty significant number. As far as sales associates, it's actually closer to 700 sales associates around the country. So we've got coverage in almost every corner of the marketplace. I didn't mention that we are out of Minnesota. Our headquarters is in Glenwood, Minnesota, central Minnesota, upper central Minnesota, I guess is what you would say. Most of our support staff are located there, but we do have support staff throughout the country as well, including Hawaii. So we are spread out from that standpoint as well. 50,000 plus customers. From a distribution standpoint, we have 50 plus distribution centers that we can distribute product from. The unique thing about American is that we don't make anything. We don't have our own printing plants. We do have our own warehousing, but we don't really manufacture anything. We don't want to be tied to a printing plant, for example, and have to try to promote whatever that printing plant does. We want to be able to go to a client, look at their situation, and provide the best solution that we can for their situation versus trying to tie them into our capabilities. So it gives us the flexibility to use literally thousands of vendors. And we have 2,200 in our Partners for Progress program, which means that we get special things from them, and we do special things for them as well. So it's a two-way street. But again, we just want to make sure that we provide the best solutions to our clients. As far as our financial customers, we have over 2,000 customers that are in the financial marketplace, either banks, credit unions, mortgage companies, that type of thing. So it is a very significant portion of our business. As far as the products and services, you can see the list here. I won't go through each one, but I usually just describe our company in very simple terms that says, if it's printed on, we do it. Or if it's a supply need for a business need, we provide it. So that's really a broad spectrum, but it just seems like every day we run into something that we have not done before. And the PPE products, as of recent, are a good example of that. We, in a very major way, got into the PPE products when the COVID thing started, and it's been a product line that we didn't really have before. So now we have an entire catalog. We've got items in the warehouse, and we've got on-demand items that are available. So we just continue to expand whatever our product and service offering is. But in the upper left-hand corner, what's most important in all of this is our proprietary e-commerce system that we're going to talk more about, and we will focus a little bit more on that as we go here. So again, going back to what we really wanted to emphasize today is expense management. And expense management really takes in all of the different product categories of products and supplies that you can run into in a daily mode, and managing all of that through this e-commerce system that we're going to talk more about. So I just want you to understand that our approach is really to help you with your expenses, because prior to COVID, during COVID, we do understand that from a financial institution standpoint, expenses are always, top of mind, and ways to reduce expense is always there as well. Because if we can reduce expense, more of those dollars can fall to the bottom line, and everybody's happy. So our whole approach when we deal with financial institutions is to try to find ways to reduce that expense. We will usually approach it. Cindy, you can go to the next slide. There are the supply chain. I'm sorry, on the wrong slide. We do have a one-stop shop solution. And what I wanted to explain here is that if we can get in and do an analysis on what you're doing today, who you're doing it with, what the products might be, and what the processes might be, we generally can guarantee a minimum savings of 15%. In fact, I've never been in a situation where we couldn't meet the 15%. And in fact, most situations that we have implemented have been a 30% savings. And I want to explain that this is not giving anything up on your end. This is still providing you the very same products and services that you always have, just that the processes behind it might be a little bit different. So it's not like in a home environment where you are trying to budget your household expenses and whatever, and you're going from steaks to hot dogs. That's not what we're doing here. Your business gets to stay the same. It's just a little different approach to how we do it. And the list you see here, I won't go through it, but all of the items that you see here are areas that we can definitely include to try to make that expense savings very possible. Cindy, you can go to the next slide. The supply chain management process is complex. And I just listed a couple things here, but the cost of marketing and the operations products themselves, we can address that for you. We, as American and being a national company, we have extreme buying power. So it's very likely that on pure product in itself that we can provide some savings on just the like products. But behind all of that, there's a lot of labor that goes into managing the supply chain. There's a lot of time that goes into managing a supply chain. So those are the soft dollar costs that we also want to address in your operations. The other thing that I have seen in my past is that accountabilities many times are lacking. I've been in the backroom operations of banks and credit unions many times and doing whether it be inventories or replenishing product. But it's amazing how often you can open up a closet and or be in a supply room and find a shelf that has product on it that has been there so long that the paper is actually starting to turn yellow. And many times, like this closet example, I remember one situation, the closet was just full of micro documents that were used in the backroom operations. And the people that we dealt with didn't even know it was there. So they kept ordering product, even though it was sitting right in their closet. So the accountabilities many times are just not there, where when you have an e-commerce system like our ACES program, we can not necessarily make people accountable, but you will understand who's ordering what, when, where, and how much they're ordering, so that you can understand what's happening out there, where many times in a branch or a department, you may not always know who's ordering what, and when, and how much. So until the invoices show up. So this is a way that you can, hold people more accountable, I guess. So Cindy, you can go to the next slide. The components of an expense management system are these basic ones. There's certainly more to it, but the first one I've listed is just the analysis in itself. So the first thing we're going to want to do after we have a discussion with you is to try to analyze what's been happening. How do you manage the supply process? How do you manage all of the print? How do you, if you've got multiple locations, which is, very, very common in this industry, where you might have 6 to 10 to 50 branches or more, how do you manage getting supplies out to all those locations? So those are all things that we try to understand what the processes are. We also try to understand, who the users are and who's actually ordering products. And we try to understand, if we can, usages and just the product itself, because many times we can look at a product and find ways that you could get a comparable product, but maybe not pay as much. So there's ways that we can help. Approval processes are the other thing that a lot of folks are not doing in an e-commerce system. When someone orders from either a cost center, which would be either a department or a branch, we can have an approval go to someone at, say, a corporate level, to approve that order. So the magic behind an e-commerce system is that you can disseminate the ordering process out to the people that actually use it. But if you want to maintain control on what's happening and know what's happening out there, you can have those orders go through an approval process before they ever come to us. So it gives you a front end capability of understanding what's happening versus looking at reports after the fact to see what's happening. So now we'll provide you both, but it gives you a way to know how things are going up front. I've listed price protection here as well. And I don't mean price protection means that for the next 5 years, the price is going to be the same, because we all know that material charges and, freight and all those things have an impact on the price of a product. But what I am getting at is when we come in and do an analysis and we come back to you with a presentation and a proposal on what we can provide you, we are not going to price product with smoke and mirrors, or, as I commonly say, bait and switch. We're not going to bait you so that you come in and then all of a sudden we do a switch on you after the fact. That's not the way we play the game. We provide pricing up front, pricing that is ongoing, with the exception of the possible material increases or whatever, but it's pricing that, when we come in with it, that's the price that we stay with as long as we possibly can. So, and then I also have down here addressing item processing exception issues. Very commonly, when I get in front of a bank, I'll find out that they have some problems in their item processing area where they get an extreme number of exceptions. So either the documents are not set up properly to read properly, or there's some print issues where screens, for example, are not dropping out properly, or there's teller imprints going, over an area that needs to be read, or whatever the case may be. So we can also help with helping you understand what's happening with the documents as to why they might be rejecting or become exception items, whatever you call that, and try to help you through that process, and might even have to make some changes that go all the way back to the system and to the core software provider. But and we may have to consult with them. But one way or the other, we'll get your item processing exception hopefully up to an 80 to 90% read rate. It's not uncommon for us to find banks that are running 30%. So it's partly our job to help you with that as well. As part of our services, we do storage, we do distribution to your various cost centers and branches and departments. And of course, in all of that, we also do the inventory management. So you don't have to manage your own storeroom or warehouse. We manage all the distribution costs, because what we find is many times financial institutions will have people actually delivering product to branches, or in a couple of examples, they were still using courier services, which really, for the most part, hardly exist anymore, but they were still using courier services, which are very expensive. So we can help with all that as well. We also see occasionally where marketing has some higher dollar items in their in storage, usually because they buy them in quantities, usually in inventory. And if they don't have control over who's actually ordering those higher dollar items, it could be a $30 pen, I don't know. We can, through that approval process, if it's a particular item, that approval can actually go to marketing instead of going to someone else in the corporate office for approvals, so that marketing can understand what's happening to the product that they have in inventory and have some decisions over that as well. So, so different users can have can view different products depending on what their level might be, or whatever their branch might be. So, for example, some branches might only use certain products. So there's no point in showing them the whole universe of products if they're only going to be using, a limited number. So we can vary what they see by the user. So that's also very helpful. Overstocking, my closet example is a prime example of that, where with the reporting that we can provide, we can help you eliminate those situations where overstocking has happened. I mean, you can order twice as many of something just to get a better price, but if you end up tossing a big portion of that order, then you haven't saved any money. So we'd rather show you what the actual usages are and help you through that process. And then when it does come to budgeting each year, you'll have some pretty exact numbers to work with after we get some usage information. So that makes the budgeting process a whole lot easier as well. The other thing that we provide in this one-stop shop environment is you can eliminate a lot of other suppliers. So supplier consolidation is a big deal. I mean, you could have 8 to 10 or more vendors that provide a variety of different services, and providing it fits what we do, we can take over those services, and hopefully, again, with some analysis, we'll be able to save you some money in the process. Brand standards are also a big deal. So when you have multiple vendors doing multiple marketing related type items, you can get some variations in your brand standards as far as colors and how things are positioned and sizes and that type of thing. So once we understand what the brand standards are, then we become responsible for making sure those brand standards are met on an ongoing basis. And likewise, quality management, that kind of goes all together. We also, what's big for financial institutions is to understand where their costs are. So we can provide summary invoicing. So we can provide once a month, maybe twice a month billing, if whatever you prefer. But then we will break out by line item what the cost center is that should be charged for that item. That would include, of course, not only the price of the item, but also the shipping and tax that's associated with that line item. So we can help you take our invoicing right to your GL and what cost center needs to be charged for it. So those are all the positive things that we can do in expense management. There's a lot more to it, but these are some of the highlight things that we can do. So the key behind all of it is our e-commerce system. So Cindy's going to show you some examples of sites, but she's also going to go through what our e-commerce system does. So I'll turn it over to her, and then if there's questions as we go, just let us know.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Dan. So here you can see we have the slide on our e-commerce solutions. So at American, we have our own dedicated IT team here at our home office in Minnesota, and we built our own fully interactive and proprietary e-commerce solution that we like to call ACES. So ACES was built on the Microsoft.NET platform, and it rides on our PeopleSoft ERP system on the back end. We've been evolving this technology for the last 20 years, and we do all of our own coding, so this is not an off-the-shelf type solution. Since it's our own system, we have a lot of flexibility in setting up each site to meet our customers' needs and in adding to our capabilities depending upon what needs our customers have. So we really use this solution to tie together all of our products together in a way that makes it easy for you, the customer, to order all of your products and make it available to your end users in the way that you want. So when Stan was mentioning, having those different user permissions and whatnot, we build that all in when we're setting up the site, when we understand, exactly how you want that access and setup to look. And overall, it's a really simple, user-friendly type program, and I'll jump into a couple sites here in just a moment. You can see some of the stats here as well, just with a number of customers and orders and items that we have on a monthly basis. But really the key thing that we feel is most important is that it's really our own technology. It's our own people that are building every site and managing all of the implementations. So we're really not dependent on somebody else's software, when we're setting up these solutions. So we feel that that's pretty important. Here next, I see just kind of a snapshot of some of the different mall fronts and sites that we've built for our customers. So each one of these landing pages you can see is built. It's all very unique to the customer with their own branding, their color schemes, and whatnot. So we'll work directly with you to, decide what's going to be the best layout and look and feel for you. And all of the buttons that you kind of see here, you'll kind of see that general theme really is all of the e-stores with all the different product offerings that we have available. And this can really be, again, set up to meet your needs, whether maybe it's one offering to begin with and we grow it over time. It's all very scalable and flexible. So we'll work with you to determine what's going to be the best starting point for you and then grow on it from there. So let me jump into a couple live sites. Let me stop this here real quick. My browser turned down here for some reason. But you'll kind of see the login process too as I go here. The first site that I'm going to jump into is for Girard National Bank. Girard had originally operated as 15 individual banks, and then they consolidated into one. So we worked with them directly to build a solution for all of their locations to be able to go in and order all of their products and supplies that they need for each of their branches. And it was really just a streamlined single shop stop for them to all access. You can see here they have multiple cost center locations that we have set up, and depending upon the user permissions, they may have access to one or many different locations. But when we come in, we'll see the mall front landing page here. You can see they have a variety of different options available to choose from. So I'm just going to kind of start jumping through some of these e-stores so you can see kind of the look and feel. The Essentials catalog includes just some key items. You can see the breakdown of categories. This, of course, is all going to be very customized to each customer. So you can determine what categories of items that you want to have available, how you want those to be worded. So really the goal is to make it as easy as possible for your users to find the products that they need to order. If we want to click into the envelopes, for example, you can see they have 9 different envelopes here to choose from, and this is including a variety of both on-demand and inventory items, which is very common as we're building out the site. So that's, depending again on the items and what your needs are, we can include that combination. But you can see here some of the standard envelopes here at the top, the number 10 envelopes. These ones are ordered on demand, so you can simply select the quantity that you want. You'll see exactly how many and what quantity there is for each box. So we got 1,000 per box in this case. There's also some envelopes that are actually in inventory. So like the drive-up envelopes, for example, are 1,000 per carton, but we have these stored in inventory. So there's a quick turn on those. As a user, you can see exactly how many are available. So in this case, there's 44 available. So I can add both of these to my shopping cart at once, and it'll take us to just a standard shopping cart that you're probably used to seeing when you're shopping online. You can continue shopping at this point, or you can proceed to checkout. I'm going to go back to the home page here and kind of jump through some of the other offerings. Office supplies just gives you a broad range of your standard day-to-day office supply type items, whether it's pens and pencils and post-it notes or break room supplies and whatnot. All are broken down here, and you can choose, you can scroll through, expanding the different categories to select items. You can also do a simple search up at the top. You can search for post-it notes if you're interested, which is going to return quite a few items since there's several thousand items in the catalog altogether. But you can refine your search here over to the left. So if you're looking for a specific category or brand, you can really start to drill down. Also the ability to compare items and products against each other. So if you're looking, trying to decide between a couple different items, you can quickly and easily do that comparison to see side by side and help you make your decision on what's needed. And within office supplies too, from an ordering perspective, you can click on any item to get additional detail. We have shopping cart functionalities and quick order capabilities built in within our ACES program as well. So for those items that you're ordering on a regular basis, it makes it quick and easy for you to access those items. Next, I'm going to jump into money handling supplies. So this is going to be your general offering of everything that you can think of that you need for your day-to-day operations within your financial institution. So anything from your fabric bags and envelopes to ATM products and wayfinding and crowd control type products. It's all going to be here in this easy-to-use catalog. So if we're looking for money handling supplies, for example, I can click in, we'll see all the available subcategories that are available to choose from. And I can select my currency straps, for example, and see all of the different options that we have to offer. And click into any item for additional detail, additional views as well. And you can scroll down here and you can start adding, whichever versions that you need based on the currency that you're looking for in this case. So you can add one or multiple, again, really depending upon what your needs are. And there's also going to be additional descriptions towards the bottom and recommended products. Maybe there's similar products that maybe go along with what you're ordering. So just a way to kind of browse and make it easy for you to find the items that you're looking for. Also, on their site, they have their stationery and business card type items, which is going to be your template items that make it easy for a user to order their business cards, for example, online. They can enter their own information and proof it real time. So if we go into one of the business card items, and I will start entering in my information here, it'll see if there's any repeat orders available. And then I can also just start reviewing my information or picking up where I left off. So in this case, I'm better enter in my phone number. And then you can create a preview to view the proof of your business card. So really the end user has that control and ability to take a look at this, make sure that they've spelt everything correctly, they have the proper titles and contact information, because this is exactly how your business card is going to print. And once this orders to, like Stan was mentioning earlier, we have controls built in place within our system to be able to route orders for approval. So, depending upon the needs there, we can set that up as well on a per user basis to kind of help manage and control purchases being made on the site. There's also reporting options, contact us feature. If you have any questions, it gives you an easy way to reach out to anybody. Girard National Bank also has an apparel program. So whereas all of their essential supplies are set up to be invoiced on a monthly basis via summary bill, which is broken out by their cost center when they log in, their apparel is available on a credit card basis. So more for personal purchases, users can come in, they can order branded apparel, which has been defined by the bank in general already in advance. So you can select any item and choose from the color. It'll update the color here to the left as you're kind of choosing between different options. There's also a size chart capability so that you can see and make sure that you're ordering the proper size. All of these are going to be ordered down to quantities of one and on an on-demand basis. So there's no need to inventory the apparel. It makes it easy so you don't have to worry about guessing on which sizes to order and what colors that people might like more than others. But again, it gives that control to the user to be able to select, what size, what color it is that they want. And then there's also logo selection options available as well. So if you have multiple versions of your logo, we can make those available for the end user to select from, so they can choose that themselves to see exactly which version that they want to have available decorated on their item. So that's Girard National Bank here in a nutshell. Let's see here. How are we doing for time, Valerie? Jump into one more here just really quick to show you just another site that's geared more towards promo and apparel type product. Finance of America is a mortgage lending customer. They have locations nationwide, so they have hundreds of locations and well over 1,000 different users between their employees and financial advisors that come into the site to order all their branded merchandise and swag. So it's really important for Finance of America to have a one-stop shop for ordering these products in order to ensure brand consistency as well, so that people aren't going out and kind of doing their own thing. you'll see the large rotating banner here, and this is really to kind of highlight new products that have been added to the site or items that they want to feature. The fun thing with this is that we can click on this banner and it's going to take us directly to the category of items where those fall products have been made available and set up. So all of the new products we have flagged with the new a new flag. So people coming into the site, it makes it easy for them to know what's the latest and greatest that's been added to the site. And again, there's a combination of promo and apparel type products that are available on the site. Also, we have all their different e-stores, which we can click into and see the different product offerings and categories that they have available. Everything from their closing gifts and drinkware to work from home, which is important to them to add as everybody was kind of moving to a work from home environment. We wanted to make sure that we had a group of items that were available in low quantities and made it easy and available for them. Also kitting options. So they set up a work from home kit, for example. So either for, personal purchases or maybe management wants to order kits for their team just to kind of build morale and give them something fun to look forward to. So a lot of fun different products and options available on the site, and also an option for users to make purchases by credit card or redeem gift codes as well. So that is an option that we offer, and I will talk a little bit more about that when we jump back into the slide presentation. So let me jump back in here. Okay, so rewards and incentives. So just wanted to highlight a few different things here. So from a incentive perspective, we do offer points programs. So which works really well for employee recognition, any sort of loyalty programs, anything like that. We can set up items with a point value instead of a dollar value. Users have point allocations then. So based on, maybe certain levels or anniversaries or whatnot that they've met, they can take the points that they earn and redeem that towards product on the site. E-gift codes, which I alluded to with the Finance of America site, really works similar to any other retail gift type card that you've received or redeemed online. The user would just simply enter that code. The dollar amount would then deduct from their balance at checkout. And if they go over their gift code amount, they can certainly pay the difference on their personal credit card. Allocation dollars is another good way to kind of manage expenses. So we can set up a budgeted allocation on a per user basis. So whether they have a certain allotment on a monthly basis or maybe it's yearly, we can set up that dollar allocation rules and put those in place. If a user exceeds their allocation, we can either allow them to pay the difference on their credit card, or maybe we're routing the order for approval to their manager before that order is produced. So a few different options that we have available there. And just from an implementation process, just wanted to touch on this real quick and let you know that, as we're working on new site builds and offerings, we have a team here at the home office and working with our sales associates that we're dedicated to making sure that your implementation goes smoothly. We've done this many times. We have a well-defined process to make sure that we're capturing all of your needs and being able to communicate that in a way that once the solution is built out, it has everything that you need, everything that you've approved, and also giving you the opportunity to, review that, of course, and make any edits before we actually promote and turn the site live, which we can help throughout that process as well. So any kind of training needs that you have, we're here to assist. And of course, as on an ongoing basis, once the site is turned live, we're still here to support any changes or needs along the way, because as I mentioned, the sites are ever evolving and always changing. So there's always support to be able to accommodate that as well. So now I think I'm going to hand it back over to you, Stan, to pick back up with reporting.
Okay, thanks. I won't spend a lot of time on this because we're already over, but I already mentioned the monthly summary billing, the cost center allocations. That's all things that we can do. And Cindy has already mentioned also that, credit purchasing cards or P cards can be used as well on the site. As far as the remainder of the reporting, I guess basically I would just say that as long as we've captured the data, we can report on it. So if you can think about what kinds of information you're capturing in an order including ship tos and cost centers and, user information and, of course, quantities and prices, all that. We can report on it. So we can give you order information. We can give you ship to information. You've seen how we can keep track of inventory that's on hand. There's also a great report that breaks out by every month of the year what your usage was on a particular line item. Net usage is by unit of measure. So if it's a box of 1,000 or whatever, it'll show you whatever usage you have had. So you can very easily budget how much you need when you put more into inventory, or if it's a print on demand item, you can have an understanding of how much you're spending on that as well. So so as long as we've got the data, we can report on it. I'll just put it that simply. So I think, Valerie, I'll turn it back over to you. If you want to, touch on all the resources that we have available.
Sure, yes. So we've put this information here for you to hopefully be helpful all in one place. As far as our microsite, we've also got a flip book, basically an e-brochure that goes through all of our products and services focused on financial solutions. So there's a link for you there. We've got access for you to look at the demo site that we have, where you can work with the functionality and play with it some on your own to see how it works and see all the different options with a login and such there. Of course, you can't purchase anything from that site. It's just for demo purposes. But also our contact information for our department is readily available for you too, so that we can answer any questions for you. And with that, we will wrap it up and we'll open it up for questions. But thank you so much for joining us for this part of our Thursday Think Tank. We appreciate you being here. And let me just turn this over to, sorry, I'm fumbling as I look to stop the recording.